And welcome to Says Who. My guest today is Sean Michael Boozer, who is improv famous, an LA area actor, and an awesome person.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
You. I don't think you can back that up, though.
I don't have to. I'm the host of this show, and what I says goes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Character witness.
So I start off all of these the same, which is, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Sean Michael Boozer. I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona. I grew up like when Phoenix was kind of a small town. It was less than 1 million people, and I grew up way out in the desert, and I enjoyed riding my BMX in the desert, cruising around washes. It was the best ever. And then got older, and I was like, I gotta get a job. So loved English lit, and I thought the natural thing, if you love reading and you love interpreting stuff, become an attorney. So then went to college, got my English lit degree, and while I was in college, worked for a family friend who was an attorney, and that was no fun whatsoever. I'm like, this is not for me. And so then when I graduated from college, I bummed around and did some corporate stuff, and then one of the guys I worked with did stand-up. He's like, dude, you're hilarious. You should get into stand-up. I'm like, I know. So then I did. And the guy that produced my stand-up shows also produced improv, and that brought me back into doing theater. I was a theater minor in college.
Okay.
And that brings me up to right now today, and then I pulled into a parking space and walked up here.
Wow, that's encapsulating.
Yeah.
So you're growing up in Arizona.
I am.
And obviously, I see the intuitive leap that is, I love reading and interpreting things. So
Nerd
be a lawyer.
Alert.
Where were you? Were you still in the Phoenix area when you through college and when you kind of went, maybe not being an attorney?
Maybe not. That's the way I thought back then. No, I actually. Went to college in northern Arizona in Flagstaff, where it snows and it's awesome. You go, snowboarding, and this is back in the good old days. Remember when Taco Bell had full-size trays that you could get?
Yeah.
So you'd steal those and you go sliding down the mountain, and those were good times. But then I found out that after 4 years, they make you graduate, and I'm like, but I'm pretty sure my folks won't ever pay for another 4-year vacation for me to go get drunk. And I was right. I was right. Stay in college. But so I then after I did graduate from Northern Arizona, moved back down from Flagstaff, but I wasn't ready to become an adult.
Right.
So I lived in Tempe, which is where ASU is, and so I could hang out with the college kids and still hang out like I was a college kid.
You were college kid adjacent.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Age-wise too, it was great. And then that's when I worked for the attorney, and I was like, this is not for me.
No bueno.
Yeah. But I did get into back into the performing in the Tempe, Scottsdale, Phoenix, Metro Phoenix area.
The gigantic metropolis that is. So at what point did you go, I'm going to take this on the road? Which, again, I'm sure is exactly how you said it.
It's exactly how I said it. Well, it was funny. I became pretty well versed in stand-up. I was, doing a 45-minute set. I was traveling around. I was doing rather well in stand-up. And then I saw how much easier I felt improv was. Mm-hmm. For one, you did not have to be stuck in a car with 3 other maniacs for hours at a time. And they're great on stage.
Sure.
But being in the car with them for hours at a time, and they go to those dark places that a lot of comedians have, and I'm like, this is not fun. This is not what I want to do.
This isn't comedians in cars getting coffee.
No, this was not. This is comedians in cars exploring their dark side, loudly, sometimes drunkenly, and you're like, maybe this is not for me. And sharing a motel room, the best. So then I booked a national show, America's Most Wanted was my first national show. And I was like, oh, dude, I can do this. This is me. This is what I'm going to do.
I'm in.
And then I moved to LA, and then brakes, suddenly screeching, violent stop to everything.
So you said, I'm going to go make some shit up.
Yes, I'm good at making stuff up.
Nice.
That's my forte. That's my sweet spot. That's where I live.
right there in the making stuff
Right
up.
there, making the stuff up, yes.
So, in general terms, you've been out in LA now for here?
Yeah, since the last millennia.
Oh, all right.
Well, just after.
And clearly you're enjoying it here.
I love LA. Yeah, LA is awesome. I mean, you can get like Korean food at 3 o'clock in the morning in a Ethiopian neighborhood, and your driver was a dude from I don't know, Bali. It's just such a diverse, crazy bit of mix. It's like America. I love it out here. And you know the great thing about LA, the great thing, and kind of the worst thing about it, is that nobody cares about you.
Boy,
nobody cares
boy,
what
howdy.
you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah,
No.
You can do whatever you want, and nobody cares.
That's right. They're all too worried about themselves.
Yes, and you know that's the great thing about it. Like nobody's judging you because they're too busy worried about themselves.
So, speaking of ourselves, what do you do? You're out here, you've been here a while, you've certainly been doing improv and acting for a while. What do you do to stay fresh?
To stay fresh, I shower.
That's good, because
Yeah,
you smell, I mean, we're sitting pretty close. You
Yeah.
smell pretty good.
Hey, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You smell great too.
Thanks, I showered.
You know what I do to stay fresh is I constantly look for like new stuff, and like because the comedy world, I still do comedy, but it's mostly improv now. I direct, I write, and a lot of the people I deal with are much younger, and they're like brand new, and that energy is palpable. And there's like you have a kid in your show, they bring everybody they know. You know what I mean? Like I have a show, and everybody's like, I've seen you 100 times. I'm not going again. Because everybody smokes.
Everybody smokes after they've seen your show.
Yeah, like, just a little something to bring it down. Yeah.
So you use young adults' energy to keep yourself fresh.
Yeah, just being around that is fun. You know, just that whole whenever you've seen like an old dog around a puppy, the old dog reverts to being a puppy. So I love reverting to being a puppy.
So you revert to being an improv puppy.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. Well, guess what?
What?
We have made it through Get to Know Ya, and we're moving on to Lightning Round. Shawn Michael, Lightning Round. Ooh. What's your favorite movie ever?
There's so many to choose from. Let's just off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Punch Drunk Love.
What is the last movie you watched?
The last movie I watched would be a 13-hour movie called Jessica Jones.
What movie would you tell everyone to watch?
I don't know. I wouldn't do that. Because I'm always like, dude, when someone says you have to see this, I don't see it. I'm going to tell you a little something that I'm a little embarrassed about. I have not seen Black Panther. You know why? Because you have to see it. No, I don't. I've never seen Titanic. I've never seen Goonies. You know why? I draw a clear... No, you can't make me do stuff.
So what movie would you tell people to never watch?
To never watch? The movie that says, you have to see this. Everybody must see this. This is a movie that speaks to our time. This is a movie we need. That movie, don't go see.
Mm-mm. So what book are you reading right now?
Hillbilly Elegy. It's about getting in the mindset of what the other side is thinking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what's a book that you go back to and read over and over?
The Prophet and The Alchemist. Anything with the and the job title after apparently is what I'm really into.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you cook?
I would say an 8. I think I'm awesome, but I don't cook very often, and I only cook like 3 or 4 things.
What is your favorite thing to cook?
Oh, my favorite thing to cook absolutely has to be spinach, garlic, and olive oil. Oh, it's so good.
What do you like on your pizza?
Cheese pizza and a little vanilla ice cream, like just each scoop as you eat it. Oh, that's such a good combination. I know it sounds horrifying, but it's so good. It's ridiculously good.
Coffee or tea?
I'm an American. Coffee. Coffee over here.
What's your favorite band?
My favorite band is Prince and the Revolution.
What is your favorite song to sing along to?
Jack and Diane. By John Cougar. Before he was John Cougar Mellencamp, and now John Mellencamp.
Do you play an instrument?
I play a couple, not necessarily well. I play piano, guitar, drum kit.
Do you have a tattoo?
I don't have a tattoo.
If you were going to get one, what would it be?
It would be something that would, I don't know. That's why I've never gotten one, but it would be something that'd be meaningful, and I would keep it somewhere where I could see it, instead of like on my butt or on my back. I don't get those.
What is the best gift you have ever given?
The best gift I've ever given? I don't know. I give such great gifts. It'd be hard to narrow it down to just, the latest gift I've given, the whatchamacallit just passed. What's it called? Valentine's Day. And I cut out those little tiny Valentines that are like really stupid and like punny, and I hid them all around Patricia's house. And so she'll find them and I made they're hidden, so there'll be some she might not find for years. So I think that's one of the best gifts, like the magic of just like finding stuff out of nowhere. I love that. Yeah.
What is the best gift you've ever gotten?
The best gift I've ever gotten was probably the parenting from my folks. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, without a doubt, to read minds. Without a doubt, that would be so awesome.
What is the least favorite thing about yourself?
I procrastinate.
What is your most favorite thing about yourself?
Probably the ability to know that this is a lesson, like to learn something from everything. Sometimes I wish I could learn on the first time around, but that is what it is.
Rolling Stones or Beatles?
Stones.
What's the last photograph you took?
The last photograph I took, that would be of a stop sign.
What is the best piece of acting advice you've been given?
The best piece of acting advice is probably breathe.
What is the worst piece of acting advice you've ever been given?
Anything that is result-oriented or trying to push a certain theory.
What is a piece of advice you would give to an actor who is just starting out?
Do what feels right to you. Do what feels right.
What would you do differently if you were starting out as an actor right now?
I would definitely stick with one school of improv, like go through that whole thing. But one of my acting teachers gave me this advice. He'd seen me like work for about 3 or 4 weeks. He's like, "You're a comedian, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And we hadn't been doing any comedies. It was a scene study class. And he's like, because you're a comedian, because of being a comedian, you have a bit of a rebel streak in you, and you should watch that. And that was part of it. Like I'm not going to go to their school. I'll take a class here, take a class there. I'll do shows here, do this show. But maybe foster those relationships instead.
Speaking of fostering relationships, what director would you like to work with?
Did you see that tie-in? That was amazing.
Really good, right?
That was really good.
Thank you.
Well, this is, I think, as much for him as for me, but Steven Spielberg, I think he would appreciate that. And, I'm just trying to help a fella out.
Right, you're a giver.
Yeah.
If someone wrote the perfect part for you, what would that be?
I think it would be some nihilistic kind of wandering around Camus, like just a meandering story, I think.
What is something that would surprise people about you?
I can't answer that. That's something someone else would have to answer. I mean, because I think everything I do is like right on brand, right on target. Everybody's like, "What?" I get a lot of this. "You're weird, Shawn Michael."
And proudly.
Yeah, I'm okay. I embrace it. That's what makes me me.
What's your day job?
I teach.
What do you teach?
I teach English. I antique, and I also put in teak floors on old boats.
Any teaking?
Any teaking you want. Anything with the teak brand in it.
What is something that makes you laugh no matter what?
Something that makes me laugh. I don't know that there's one thing. There's one guy that makes me laugh. Matt Weinhold. I don't know, dude. Everything he does is hilarious to me, and that guy cracks me up.
What does creativity mean to you?
Creativity is like finding options, like finding the yes, like making things work.
And finally, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about your life right now?
I'd have to say a 9. Sadly, not a 10, but a 9. I'm okay with that right now.
Well, Shawn Michael, we are moving on.
Woohoo!
And finally, Shawn Michael, we are going to end with the questions that James Lipton asks during Inside the Actors Studio.
So very serious.
Yes. So you ready for this?
Yes.
Shawn Michael, what is your favorite word?
Brekapoto.
What is your least favorite word?
No.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Just positivity. Just coming at it and knowing that it's going to work, making it work, trying instead of just throwing your hands up and walking away.
What turns you off?
Arrogance. That blend of ignorance and thinking that you somehow have some insight.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck, let me think. Oh yeah, fuck.
What sound or noise do you love?
When little kids laugh, little kids, when I say little kids, I mean little kids, like even babies through toddlers, because that's just that's a real laugh, that there's nothing socially, they're not trying, it's beautiful.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Metal on metal, that screeching sound,
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
A therapist. I'd like to either be a therapist or maybe a Jesuit, but that would require a whole belief system that might not work for me.
What profession would you not like to do?
Anything repetitive and rote, especially dealing with numbers, that sounds like hell on earth.
And finally, Shawn Michael, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You didn't think here I am, Now, what do you have to say for yourself? Do I want to hear him say that? I don't know that, but I think that's what he would say, yeah. And apparently he's a he in this context.
I mean, sure, why not?
All right, yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming on the show, being my guest.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I go back to the green room and eat the rest of the fruit?
You can go back to the green room, eat the rest of the fruit, and then get your stuff out because somebody else is coming.
Wow.
I know, that was mean.